Mania.
You're watching the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. From Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee, it's the Big Ten versus the SEC. A pair of 8-win teams going head-to-head as the home state Volunteers take the field here in Music City. Their first ever matchup with the Fighting Illini of Illinois. Welcome to Music City, everybody. Tom Hart alongside Jordan Rogers, Cole Kubelik down on the field on this chilly afternoon in Nashville. What a job Bret Bielema has done building the program in Champaign. Since he arrived 5 years ago, he's brought a real belief to the building.
Yeah, probably doesn't get the national recognition he deserves for the turnaround he's had at Illinois, because Indiana has had a pretty good one the last couple of years, but Bielema's done a great job. They got a chance to win 9 or more games in back-to-back years for the first time in program history, back-to-back bowl games for the first time in program history. He's done a fantastic job and did it by getting the right quarterback in the portal a couple of years ago.
Well, here's how the season played out for Illinois. They came in with high expectation, sleeper pick to make the college football playoff, and a remarkable start. They were top 10 through 6 games. Luke Altmaier, a dark horse for the Heisman at that point. Then issues, 3-3 in their last 6 games, including a tough loss on the road at Washington. All 3 losses were blowout losses, and that gets them set for now this. A chance for Bret Bielema to make history. 18 wins over the last 2 seasons, tied for most in program history. They've never won 9 games or more in consecutive seasons, and one of the reasons they're here now, a big reason, is the offseason acquisition a few years ago of Luke Altmaier, who was a threat to leave this past season to Tennessee. But Cole, he stuck it out. Many reasons, because he's found a home in Illinois.
Business to be finished for quarterback Luke Altmaier, who told us, I had my false identity stripped when he left Oxford, Mississippi from Ole Miss and transferred to Illinois. That first year, Tom, 5-6, injured down the stretch. His backup played better than he did. Said it was an offseason unlike any other. I lost all my confidence. I didn't know if I was capable of being a good college quarterback, much less one of the best to ever put on the Fighting Illini uniform. He has a chance to go down as that tonight. Talk to therapists, talk to coaches, talk to preachers. All helped him build that confidence back up, as did Bret Bielema, and trying to finish that business you mentioned tonight, Tom, with back-to-back 9-win seasons for the first time in program history.
And in this most recent offseason, it was Tennessee trying to fill that quarterback spot when Nico Iamaleava left last minute in the spring. Boy, did they ever. And the guy they found, Joey Aguilar, has a chance not only to reignite his football career, he has a chance to make Tennessee history.
No doubt, underappreciated for the job that Joey Aguilar has done for this offense. Think about going into the season. Not only did he show up in summer, no spring ball, they were replacing 4 of their top 5 offensive linemen, their top 3 receivers, the SEC Player of the Year and running back Dylan Sampson. They had nobody, and Joey Aguilar has done nothing but get this team to a spot in this bowl game, a top 5 offense, and a job that may not be finished for him, but a job that he could pass some pretty big names here, as you see, one including Peyton Manning.
And we've got some opt-outs on the defensive side for both teams. There's a chance this turns into a shootout and could get them there. Tennessee won the toss. Volunteers have elected to defer, so the Illini will receive as we get started on this chilly Tuesday afternoon in Nashville. Temperature 36 degrees. That feels like cold. Good news for you, it's warmed up to 30.
Wonderful.
Josh Turbeville has it on a tee. Khalil Valentine set to return for the Fighting Illini. And we are underway in Nashville. No return for Valentine. Cole told us about the journey of Luke Altmaier, who lost the starting job at Ole Miss to Jackson Dart, now in the NFL. What about his skills as a quarterback?
Well, he's got a ton of talent, and you know, if Lane Kiffin and Jeff Lebby were going to recruit a quarterback, they can make every single throw. He's got a really strong arm, but on top of that, he changes his platform and his arm angle really well, so doesn't need to have his feet set, can drop it sidearm and make every single throw in the book. Also, a mobile quarterback that throws really well on the run. And this Tennessee secondary is banged up. He's going to have an opportunity today to make some big-time plays downfield.
He's got Khalil Valentine in the backfield with him. Hank Beatty is his leading receiver and goes in motion, and Valentine finds room over the left side against this depleted Tennessee defense. Haven Hobbs with the tackle. Let's meet Jordan's impact players.
Yeah, Hank Beatty, the #1 receiver for Illinois, is going to have a big day. Colin Dixon as well, #2 receivers, going against a true freshman in Ty Redmond, who's had a really nice season. But without Colton Hood, they're banged up in the secondary. And Edwin Spillman as well, filling in for Arian Carter, a linebacker that also opted out.
On 2nd and short, it's Valentine to move the chain. A little extracurricular, pushing and shoving. In addition, for Tennessee, Jalen McMurray, who plays a hybrid position nickelback, was banged up in practice in Knoxville last week, and so he is not out there to start the game. We'll see if he finds the field sometime today. Art Altmyer, honorable mention, all Big Ten quarterback. He leads the nation in last-minute wins over the last 3 seasons. Double clutches and still fits it in on a falling catch by Beatty, the senior from Rochester, Illinois.
Well, had some pressure in his face there. The offensive line cut block, which means they're going to dive at the defensive line's knees, thinking the ball comes out quick. Altmyer had to hold on to that one for a second, but still able to get that one out. Set up here a 2nd and short.
Opening drive for Illinois. One of Tennessee's biggest threats offensively is the fact that they're a great first-quarter team. Illinois will choose to play some ball control offense today, even though Altmyer loves to go up-tempo. Complete for the first down. That's Colin Dixon. And a suplex to take him down. William Wright on the defensive side for Tennessee. And the Illini fans excited to see a flag come in, even though it was a tad late.
Well, yeah, Wright filling in for the potential first-round draft pick, Colton Hood, who's getting ready for the NFL. He's excited, too. He's a Nashville native.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 0. Against the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
This is an ACC crew. Riley Johnson, our referee today.
Yeah, Wright went to school just down the road, Innsworth High School. Gets a little amped up here in the Music City Bowl. Getting an opportunity to start a game here against Illinois. Got to reel in those emotions, you know, early. It's been a while since these guys got to hit somebody wearing a different color jersey.
You know, the last time Tennessee was on the field was a disappointing one. A blowout loss at home to their rivals, Vanderbilt. And Diego Pavia moving on the left side for Illinois. Tanner Arkin, the tight end.
False start. Offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Cole, it looked like Josh Croats, their leader, their center, was signaling to the officials that Tennessee was clapping, which is a no-no if your quarterback uses clapping the cadence. What did you see?
That group know that he thought there was something going on there at the 2nd level, but I don't know if that's the time to do it.
See if you can see anybody. I don't know if I saw any clapping on that one.
So Illinois goes backwards for the first time. 1st and 15. Altmyer design run. He is a physical and willing runner. He rips off 7 that time. Jeremiah Thielander with the stop.
And that's where they're going to need tonight, because this Illinois offensive line has struggled a little bit. They've given up 31 sacks this year, 3rd most in the Big Ten, and Tennessee's really good at getting after the quarterback. And on top of that, Illinois is going to be without their starting left tackle, J.C. Davis, first-team All-Big Ten. He's going to get ready for the NFL. So Nathan Knappich will be on the left side there against a really good defensive front all day.
Knappich, a redshirt freshman from Kennewick, Washington, transferred from Idaho. Altmyer going deep down the sideline, and a fantastic grab and coverage by Colin Dixon. He had Ty Redmond all over him, and now they say incomplete.
Rolling on the field is an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
Oh, it's a really good throw. Little back shoulder. And a great effort by Dixon. He's just going to get that left knee. He's going to hit the white paint there first. Great coverage by Ty Redmond on the outside as well.
Well, there is a lot of energy from the Illinois faithful in the building here today at Nissan Stadium. They just saw the replay and thought that he got his foot down.
The rolling on the field of an incomplete pass is under further review.
And so they'll look a little bit longer at this one.
I think you just got to look at the left leg, really. Does that knee come down first or the toe? I'm pretty sure it was the knee. So we get a good look here down the side. He secures the catch initially. Watch this left leg. The toe looks like it's going to come down, but it stays up, I believe. Not going to be able to see there. I think it's hovering above the ground. And then the knee is going to come down there.
Yeah, the knee before the left foot. Matt Austin is a rules analyst with us tonight. Matt, how do you see it?
Yeah, Tom, I think Jordan nailed it. I think he looked like the toe was going to touch. I don't think it did. I think it just kind of swung past the ground. And I actually think his hand is the first thing to touch out of bounds in the white.
Oh, yeah, good point, Matt. Yeah, I think his left hand, yeah, right there. Hand and knee.
I mean, you guys just want to have kumbaya with each other? I mean,
me and Matt go way back. You know, he was the white hat on a lot of my games at Vandy. I used to, you know, go talk to Matt before the game, say, hey, they like to hit the quarterback late. Make sure you're protecting me out there, Matt. I'm a little guy.
Somebody had to take care of you.
So they're still looking this one. We're 3 minutes in. Opening drive for Illinois. And already the Illini have marched 41 yards, helped by a 15-yard penalty against Tennessee. And Josh Heupel having his program
After
in
further
the home
review, the
state.
ruling on the field is upheld.
Heupel brought his first Tennessee team here to Music City, and the Music City Bowl lost a thriller to Purdue, a very controversial finish in overtime where Tennessee thought it had punched through the end zone.
Yeah, 3rd and 8 here, a passing situation. Watch Knappich filling in again for J.C. Davis at left tackle. He's going to have Jordan Ross, actually Caleb Herring from Tennessee, guy with 4 sacks on the year, good pass rusher. Let's see if this O-line can hold up.
3rd down 8. Altmaier checks at the line. 21 touchdowns for Altmaier over the course of the season. And a swing pass to Valentine out of the backfield. He gets stood up immediately, picks up only 1.
And that's just a great job by Edwin Spillman, the linebacker. Obviously has filled in quite a bit on the second half of this season for injured Arian Carter, the star linebacker that's not out there tonight. Spillman is a heck of an athlete, 74 tackles on the year. And a great job in open space there to force what will be a 4th.
They're keeping the offense on the field.
Yeah, kind of in that gray area, long field goal. It's a little windy down there on the field.
They're 11 of 15 on 4th down this season. Middle of the pack in the Big Ten. Altmaier looking for Beatty. He's covered. Now over the middle. Progression incomplete. Trying to work the backside of it, and Justin Boeck, and that'll be a turnover on downs for Illinois.
Yeah, that left tackle was a great job by Jordan Ross on a bull rush on the right side of your screen. He's going to push Knappich all the way back into the lap of Luke Altmaier. Even get a little hand on the helmet there to force the incomplete pass.
So Tennessee will get first crack at it after the defense bends but doesn't break. And the Volunteers offense on the field on a chilly day lost to Ohio State. Now Joey Aguilar, the 4th different starting quarterback over the last 4 seasons for Tennessee, leads one of the nation's most prolific offenses.
Yeah, making his 37th career start. Obviously his career started at App State before a brief stop at UCLA before the trade with Nico Iamaleava. And boy, has he been the perfect fit for this offense.
Tennessee coming off of a home loss to Vanderbilt. Aguilar is top 20 in the country in 5 different offensive categories. He has thrown for 200 yards plus in every one of his starts, and Illinois gets to him on the first snap. James Thompson Jr. meets his friends in the backfield for a loss of 8. Tanner Heckel was also there. Here are the impact players tonight.
Yeah, wide receiver Braylon Staley for Tennessee. SEC Freshman of the Year, Deshaun Bishop. This offense likes to run the football a lot. Joe Barna, big shoes to fill, with Gabe Akis out of the lineup. And on the back end, honorable mention all Big Ten safety Miles Scott is going to have his hands full with the Tennessee offense that loves to spread the field and stretch you vertically. Playing center field back there, Scott's going to have to try to read Aguilar's eyes. He'll have an opportunity to make a couple plays. They will push the ball downfield.
Tennessee has scored on its opening drive 9 out of 12 games this season. They've only punted on the opening drive twice. After the sack, 3rd down 10. Aguilar deep out. That is caught for a first down by Braylon Staley. SEC Freshman of the Year, and the Tennessee offense will go tempo. It is at its most dangerous in the opening quarter, where Aguilar is third in the country in completion percentage, leads the country in yards per game in the first quarter. And now they turn to the ground game, and Deshaun Bishop had a great visit with Aaron Henry, the Illinois defensive coordinator, yesterday. He's well aware of Tennessee's quick starts, and he seemed to imply that teams on Tennessee's schedule don't bring enough pressure in the opening quarter, even the opening drive. And we saw them get to Aguilar in the first snap. A little dump off to Bishop. He's from Knoxville, and he runs out of bounds for a gain of 12. Knoxville about 3 hours east of here.
And the reason they have so much success in the first quarter really is the tempo. I don't care how much you rep it in practice. It is different when they get out there and they're going full speed. One of the fastest teams in the country. And so to your point, Tom, a lot of defensive coordinators are scared to dial up pressure because you're not really sure what formation they're going to be in. It gets the ball so quickly, so a lot of times it forces the defense to be more simple, which allows Tennessee to attack them, especially in the first quarter.
And they're a great running team, and they stick with Bishop. And a big part of the running, Cole, is a tight end play, and they're happy to have Miles Kitselman, number 87, back on the field.
Absolutely bulldozing his way through an Illinois defender, and one of the guys that wanted to be a part of this bowl game.
He's from tiny Linden, Kansas. JUCO, then Bama, then Tennessee. Out of the backfield, a stumbling catch made by Bishop.
Kitselman banged up a couple of weeks ago, and one of the things he told the training staff initially was, I want to be back for the bowl game. Did his best to get back for Vanderbilt. Wasn't quite ready for the season closer, but this was an emphasis for him. He wanted to be a leader for this football team, wanted to be back for this bowl game. It meant a lot to him to be a part of this team. His journey's been incredible to become the tight end that he's been this season.
1 year at Hutchinson Community College in Kansas before going to Bama and then Tennessee. And he's leading the way here. On the ground again, enough for a first down for Deshaun Bishop.
And this was really part of the game plan. I talked to Joey Halsley, the offensive coordinator for Tennessee, on the field before the game. He said, look, we're going to start in 12 personnel, which is one running back, 2 tight ends. We want to run the football early, force Illinois to bring a safety down into the box, create one-on-one matchups on the outside, and then start to attack this defense downfield. Illinois has been so good at not giving up explosives this year. They don't mind playing coverage and letting you play small ball. And Tennessee's ability to run the football will try to get them out of that.
And they keep it on the ground, and a huge gain inside the 10. And Deshaun Bishop is Tennessee knocking on the door. Clay, thank you. We welcome those of you who watched La Tech pick up the win against Coastal Carolina in the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. This is the Nissan Stadium first ever meeting between Tennessee and Illinois, the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Cole Kublik on a freezing day in Nashville, Tennessee. Illinois made good progress on its opening drive, but failed to convert a 4th down in Tennessee territory. And since then, Joey Aguilar is 4 for 4 on this opening drive for Tennessee. This will be the 11th play of the possession. Out of the shotgun, Aguilar pulls it back, has room to rumble, and a cutback in the open field into the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. Joey Aguilar feeling it tonight in Nashville. Just his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. And Tennessee caps off an 11-play, 67-yard drive. This is Max Gilbert for the point after. And Gilbert punches it through. Tennessee with a 7-0 lead in the first ever meeting with Illinois.
Well, they dialed up a little tight end delay to Miles Kitselman at the bottom of your screen, but watch all the Illinois guys that stay with him. That's where Joey Aguilar is trying to go with the ball. It's 1-on-5. Great decision to not throw the football in that direction, instead to take off and use his legs. And it capped off a, 12-play drive?
11, but yeah, we'll give him credit for it.
Okay. 11-play drive for Tennessee.
I never thought of Joey Aguilar as a swagger guy.
You know, he is a little more reserved when you talk to him, but there's a big smile. You open up a bowl game with a rushing touchdown, that'll bring a little swagger out for any quarterback.
Number 89 is now number 43.
Joey Aguilar thought his football playing career was done after a season and a half of junior college ball. Reignited it at Appalachian State. And is chasing Peyton Manning's single-season passing record here at Tennessee. Second chance for Illinois. Valentine will let it sail wide. And what a day here in Music City. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Cole Kubelik down on the field. Brett Bielema has built a winner at Illinois, 5th year on the job after a couple of different stops in the NFL, 2 previous stops at Wisconsin and Arkansas. It feels like the entire building has belief in what they're doing in Champaign.
No doubt, and they have a lot of time, passion invested in the result of this game. They could win 9 games in back-to-back years for the first time in program history. This is the first time in history they've gone to back-to-back bowl games. And Tom, I was a part of a team at Vanderbilt that won their 9th game, the first time ever in program history, in this very same stadium, in this very same bowl game, and it meant everything to us. So talking to Luke Altmyer on the field, you could just tell that they really wanted this one.
Yeah.
And this is an era of college football where the bowls have kind of been, I don't want to say diminished, but maybe not as important with the playoffs and the focus on the playoffs. But this Illinois team has a chance to do something really special, something historic for the program, and it means a lot. And it'll start, hopefully, with a good drive here after, like you said, a failed 4th down on the first drive.
Altmyer's on pace for a school record in completion percentage and movement up front for Illinois for the 2nd time.
False start. Offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Josh Kreutz, the center, 2-time captain and 2-time honorable mention All Big Ten performer. He had 30 consecutive starts. It was snapped in a Purdue game earlier this season.
And it was literally the smallest knee flinch ever, but that judge standing right over the top saw it right away, and that's 2 pre-snap penalties, like you said, for Illinois, headed in the wrong direction.
On the ground to the right side, they get some of that yardage back on a physical run by Aiden Lawfrey. Lawfrey from Gibson City, Illinois, just down the road from Champaign. There's a lot of Central Illinois talent that makes up this Illini roster. And some will tell you the DNA of this program right now. 2nd down 9. It's Hank Beatty in motion, and he gets back to the backfield. They fake it to him. He's wide open, but Altmyer goes downfield for the completion to Hudson Clement. And an Illinois 1st down and a gain of 22.
Boy, it's really the protection that allowed this one. It's a long developing play. You got a go route on the outside, and you got Clement on a deep sail route. You see how long this takes. But a great job by Altmyer of standing in that pocket, stepping up, and delivering a strike.
William Wright is the cornerback on that side. Tennessee without Colton Hood had been starting. In fact, started all 12 games this season. 2 tight ends, both shift to the right side for Illinois. And another flag.
This is going to be on the right guard. Another false start.
False start. Offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Just the right tackle there, Melvin Presley.
3rd Illinois false start, the senior from St. Louis.
Like, you know, Altmyer's not even doing like a dummy clap or like a...
Not even a hard count.
Yeah, it's surprising. Not sure what's going on communication-wise. The offensive line in Altmyer, but they need to simplify some things. That's 3 pre-snap penalties. Can't have that.
Altmyer goes under center. Play action. Over the middle, complete for a 1st down again. This is Ashton Hollins with his first touch and a gain of 19, and the big play ball has been there for Illinois in this drive. Well, you mentioned how much this Illinois team wants it and wants to be here. Chance to solidify history as they build this program under Brett Bielema. Luke Altmyer certainly wants it. He grew up in SEC country. He came to this bowl game when Mississippi State played it in 2011. His dad, the longtime team physician for the Bulldogs, grew up just outside of Starkville and started his college career playing for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. He was born and raised on SEC football. Little swing pass, Beatty can throw. Great high school quarterback. Back to Altmyer, and that one's incomplete and trickles out of bounds.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete forward pass. Second down.
We expected some of this from Barry Lunny, especially with a weapon like Hank Beatty.
Yeah, Beatty played quarterback in high school. Watch as this play develops. If he's able to get this ball off clean, there is one defender over there and 5 offensive linemen. That could be a huge play. Unfortunately, the protection for Beatty was blown up a little bit, caused the errant throw as he stepped back. We talked to Altmyer. We knew something was coming in the high red zone. He said they were going to give Beatty an opportunity to throw the football that time.
Beatty put up incredible numbers at Rochester High School. Altmyer takes the bad snap and delivers a strike to Beatty. Beatty was the Gatorade Player of the Year at Rochester High.
How about Barry Lunny telling us, he said he could run our offense right now at quarterback. He said I would have no issue putting him in a quarterback. He knows the entire offense. He could run every bit of it.
Well, they use him in a lot of different ways. A guy who sprung to the forefront in the bowl game last year against South Carolina, which is Illinois' only win ever against an SEC opponent. They're 1-6 all time against the Southeastern Conference. Altmyer hands off, first man through, and that's good enough for the first down.
Tom, you mentioned Hank Beatty in the bowl game last year. Justin Stepp, his position coach, said it reminded him a lot of Xavier Legette at South Carolina, where it hadn't been super productive. The light switch kind of hadn't come on. Had a big bowl game going into his final year. In that offseason, just kind of really regrouped, found his way, found his routine, and was able to put together an ultra-productive final season for South Carolina, kind of like Beatty has here for Illinois.
There's Jordan Anderson on the carry for the first down for Illinois. They've really mixed it up in the backfield already. Aiden Lawfrey back there now. Used 3 different backs so far tonight. Lawfrey finds a little bit of room before he is wrestled to the ground. That's Edwin Spillman with the stop.
I like that aspect of Illinois going right at the teeth of this Tennessee defense. These are some gigantic defensive tackles, some of the best in the SEC. And I asked Barry Lunny Jr. before the game, do you want to attack that group? Are you going to kind of stay away from the A-gaps? He said, no, we have to try it. We have to see if we can have success there because so much of our offense is built around that. First drive, first play of the game actually went in the A-gaps inside zone. Still going at it here are the Illini.
Brett Bielema told his team they wanted to play with Big Ten physicality in this one. Second possession of the game. The Fighting Illini. Altmyer, another flag coming pre-snap.
False start. Offense, number 64.
That's Croaks to center. Cole,
down.
talk to us about O-line play and how, if at all, it's impacted with a long layoff. Could that play a role in this?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, but from a Sooners perspective, I've told you guys before, you move when you snap the football. And as Jordan pointed out on the previous one, just a little bit of a flinch there from Croaks, who you wouldn't expect this from. You mentioned the amount of games he's played in, the experiences he has. His father, one of the better centers in NFL history for the Chicago Bears. He can manage all of this. I don't think there's anything different that he's seen that he hadn't already had to deal with.
Dad Olin, 6-time Pro Bowler, 14 years in the league. Altmyer in play action, has time, fires in zone, caught for an Illinois touchdown. Justin Bowick, we're a gain of 18, and the Illini on the board. Among other things, not only Illinois a point after from tying this thing up, but as explosive as Tennessee is in the first quarter all season, they've held Tennessee to just one first quarter possession. A 5-minute, 40-second drive. It took 9 plays to find pay dirt. David Alano on for the point after. .36 seconds remaining in the opening quarter from Nashville. Tennessee and Illinois tied at 7 at the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl. Oh, not yet, not yet. But maybe, you ask nicely, get him here. 7 points, 7 points. 36 seconds left, and they're on the iPad over there. There's
Oh, that's not the real one.
No. Emus, I don't know if you know this.
I mean,
they're mean.
Yeah, but they get Bevo on the sidelines for Texas. I mean, he's not nice.
That's true.
I mean, I feel like you could corral an emu down there if you can corral a longhorn.
That's something to work on.
I digress. Shoot, Mike the Tiger used to be down on the field.
That's right. We got options. By the way, that touchdown pass for Altmyer is 22nd. Only season in program history with more than 22. Kirk Kittner at 01 and before that 99. Both Juice Williams and Jeff George in 1989 and 08 respectively had 22 passing touchdowns in a single season. Career arc of Luke Altmyer continues to impress. Chance for a return from the 4. Delani Morris. Morris with a hurdle, and he got it. Hit to the upper body, crossing the 25. Following our game tonight, bowl season rolls on with number 16 USC and TCU meeting in the Valero Alamo Bowl. TCU 3-2 all time against USC. Last meeting the Sun Bowl in 1998. So here's Joey Aguilar. What a long, winding road for the Tennessee quarterback from Antioch, California. Grew up in the Bay Area, would take the BART to junior college practice. Living at home at the time. A couple of different JUCO stops for an interruption in his career. It's a 3-yard gain on first down by Deshaun Bishop. He was telling us that he took a firefighter's class in high school, and they did everything from rolling out the hoses to working his EMTs, and that was his goal when he was going to quit football. Trying to roll left, and he gets taken down but falls forward for a couple. Leon Lowry Jr. the stop, and that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. First ever meeting between Tennessee and Illinois. A lot of orange in the building today. And the home whites at Tennessee on the board. First, Altmyer with the answer. We're tied at 7. Probably the end of the line for Joey Aguilar's college career, although that's not exactly finished. More on that later. But climbing the ladder, City College of San Francisco for really only one season. The Diablo Valley College, he was going to quit football and become a firefighter. Last chance at Appalachian State, rewrote the record books, and a stop off at UCLA for a minute before Nico Iamaleava decided he'd rather go out west. And he earned the starting job at Tennessee. He said the day he got the starting job, he got a text from Peyton Manning. He thought it was a prank. Then he had to finally put Peyton's name with that number in his phone, and that's when he shared the text with the rest of the family. He has enjoyed every second of his time on Rocky Top, and he is just 3 behind Graham Harrell, the most consecutive games with 200 pass yards. He's done it every single FBS start. And he is 4 for 4 to start this one. On third down, off his back foot, got pressured again, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, just good coverage, nowhere to go with the football. Illinois dropped into zone coverage on that one. Pretty cool. We were talking about Aguilar, a chance to pass Peyton Manning on the single season passing yards list after getting a text from him.
Number 2 is now number 95.
I think he texts him back and go, sorry, man, you're second place now.
Well, maybe Peyton would text him and say, why don't my bowl numbers count, bro?
Oh, yeah, true.
Jackson Ross on to punt it away for the first time for Tennessee. running against the wind. And he'll take a volunteer hop, cover a little bit more ground. Well, both of these guys, these quarterbacks, have been on incredible journeys. And for Luke Altmyer, it started in the Deep South. An SEC fan, his dad, the team physician. He grew up a Mississippi State fan in Columbus, Mississippi, between Columbus and Starkville. In fact, he was at this bowl game in 2011. 9 games in 2 seasons, played behind Matt Corral, played in the Sugar Bowl his freshman year when Corral took a hit to the head, then lost the job to Jackson Dart. He found a new home in Illinois, top 3 in career wins and passing touchdowns in school history. And it was a journey he couldn't have foreseen coming. Cole talked about this at the outset. He said, I came out of high school, I was a big man on campus. Everything was in front of me at Ole Miss, and then I failed. I had to regroup, and it took a while. And Brett Bielema and Barry Lunny telling us in our meetings yesterday, probably took about a full calendar year to finally find his footing. Cole, it was refreshing to hear Luke Altmyer really open up to us about how he leaned on his pastor, therapist, and friends to rediscover who he was and shake the imposter syndrome.
I thought it was one of the most open and honest discussions we've had with a college football player during our time as a television crew. And he just being really honest and saying there were times I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do this. I wasn't good enough to do this. His confidence was shot, but thankfully he had family, friends around him that helped him get that back, put a lot of work into the offseason after that first year in Champaign, and turned him one of the greatest quarterbacks in school history.
He was not familiar with the Illinois program or even the campus when he first showed up. Little swing pass, plenty of room for Valentine, and he takes it past midfield. And like the weather today, Cole, the family dropped him off in Champaign day number 1. It was nearly in the single digits, and he must have been thinking, what have I got myself into?
Well, I spoke to his father, Chad Altmyer, today. He said, I remember the day we took him up there and we dropped him off. He said it was balmy, cold, about 10 degrees. And he said once we got him all set up, we rolled out. He said his mom, Betsy, looked at me and said, not sure I could have stayed with this one. He said, that boy must love him some football because I wouldn't be sticking around in this weather.
Well, the coaching staff embraced him even through the rocky times, which included a 5-interception game against Penn State. Altmyer pressured again, and Tennessee comes up with the sack. It's a loss of nearly 5. It's David Hobbs, nicknamed Shrek, able to take down Altmyer.
And true freshman Jaden Harmon on the left side is going to have great effort to keep this thing alive, to allow some pressure and force Altmyer to escape vertically up through the pocket. Great coverage on the back end. They were trying to play action, hit a shot deep downfield, but coverage was there on the back end for Tennessee.
Now 2nd and 14 for Altmyer, and he's going to shift his tight end Arkin in for protection. And it was play action all the way. Or pardon me, delayed handoff to Valentine. And he'll be short of the first down and set up 3rd and medium. To close the story on Altmyer, that game against Penn State. It was an early game that day, and he threw 5 interceptions. Brett Bielema left the facility, set an alarm on his phone for 9:30 that night to reach out to Luke. We asked Luke about it pregame. Look at him helping out his offensive line, taking the bunny around the tree. And he said, I knew exactly where I was. I was at my parents' Airbnb in Champaign. I took the call outside. I knew exactly where my feet were. It meant so much for my coach to tell me that you're my quarterback this morning. Before you threw 5 picks, you're still my starting quarterback tonight. Here's Beatty on the sweep. Good vision for Beatty before he gets crunched, and he picks up the Illinois first down.
Beatty's such a big part of this offense. The screen a couple plays ago, they used him as a decoy. Took about 2 Tennessee linebackers in that direction through the screen opposite. They move him all over the field. And he's had a transformation in his career as well, from really a punt return, gadget, dynamic return specialist guy to a guy that's got 826 yards on the season, 7th in the Big Ten, and the focal point of this offense.
He's the only player in college football with a touchdown pass, a rush, reception, and a punt return this season. The Rochester Rocket. They play fake to him. Altmyer steps up in the pocket, little shake, and he dives forward. What a move by Altmyer to avoid an Ole, the Tennessee defender, at the outset of that play, and he ends up picking up 5.
I'll tell you what, Barry Lunny, the offensive coordinator, is dialing up shot plays. They are being aggressive. Problem is coverage just there on the back end. Again, a play action using Beatty as a decoy, trying to hit a shot play downfield, and nothing's there. See a little side swipe of Altmaier's helmet. So he does the smart thing, take off and run.
Impressive for Tennessee in the back end. The issues they've had injury-wise, specifically at corner. They lost their best corner before the season even started. And Ty Redmond, freshman number 4 in white, was pressed into action early this season, especially against Georgia. The Dogs trying to attack him. Redmond getting a break right now.
And Tennessee really without their top 3 corners from the start of the year. Jermod McCoy obviously hasn't played all year. Ricky Gibson was hurt week 1. And now Colton Hood declaring for the NFL. So this Tennessee back end doing a really good job against Luke Altmaier and this Illinois passing attack.
Illini 2 for 3 on 3rd down tonight. Third down 4. Pressure from the edge. Altmaier stands tall, delivers, but it is short of the marker as Bowick gets taken down a yard and a half, if not 2 yards short. That'll leave 4th and short. They already went for it once tonight. They're going to keep the offense on the field. 4th and a short 2.
Boy, I was watching Brett Bielema on the sideline. There was no indecision. He pointed right away. We're going for it. We're going for it. Now the second time early in this game, the Illinois is going to roll the dice in Tennessee territory on 4th down.
Altmaier shovel pass into traffic, and it was intercepted by Tennessee. Bryson Eason thrown right to him.
Ruling on the field, an incomplete forward pass.
They say it's
Rolled over on
incomplete.
downs.
Regardless, it's a
Timeout.
turnover on downs for the 2nd time for Illinois. This was a dangerous thought by Altmaier into traffic. And a turnover for Illinois on down. At 7. Almost midway point of the 2nd quarter, and that defensive line came with a huge play on the 4th down stop.
It was massive. Also the right call. Jaden Perlotti is going to walk up and blitz through the A-gap, and Bryson Eason's going to get inside vertical pressure in the A-gap right where they're trying to run this shovel pass. So sometimes it's the perfect call and it's great effort. And both those things happen on that play to stop Illinois on another 4th down.
Cole, what makes Rodney Garner such a great coach?
Well, experience, number one. I mean, he's coached at almost every SEC school at some point in time, but just he knows how to get the guys' engines going. He's one of those coaches, kind of rare in today's college football, can still coach extremely hard and not just run guys off. And I think because you can point to the Derrick Browns and the other NFL success stories that he has, the guys had that automatic respect for him. I know Tennessee fans have to be thrilled that they're going to get him back next year with the new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, Jim Knowles coming in as the new DC. Coaching change at the end of the season for Josh Heupel on the ground. And a solid gain by Star Thomas.
And this run game from Tennessee is trying to set up the shot play. We haven't seen Joey Aguilar push the ball vertically downfield yet. Illinois playing a lot of deep 2-safety zone coverage. Here they go.
Pocket collapsing, and Aguilar taken down again. 2nd sack of the night for Illinois. Eli Coonan transferred from Bemidji State with a sack for the Illini.
Boy, and they were gonna have it. Mike Matthews was running right down the middle of the field, splitting those 2 deep safeties. But Joey Aguilar just did not have enough time to get that one off.
Gabe Ackes, the Big Ten sack leader, 2nd in school history, is headed on to the NFL. They're still getting pressure on the quarterback without him. Aguilar has room to rumble. Sandwiched at the 39 and picked up the 1st down.
Wow, what an effort from Aguilar. It's a quick decision. You see all the rushers go to the right side, or excuse me, left side of Aguilar. No one on the right side. You can see him look to the sideline. He knew where that 1st down marker was, knew he had to get his shoulder down and put his body on the line. You know, we told the story of Aguilar. He's really playing with house money. After thinking at one point, really mentally saying he was going to walk away from the game, to the season he's put together here at Tennessee is going to give him the opportunity to play in the NFL. Something that I think in 2020, you would have thought, I got no shot, right? in the junior college ranks, thinking he was just going to probably hang it up, and parlayed that into a prolific couple years at App State, and now the big numbers he's putting up this year are definitely getting the attention of the NFL. He'll be in a camp somewhere next year, no doubt.
Well, he told us that his welcome to major college football moment was the Georgia game in Knoxville. That was a huge early season game, a missed kick and some tough break for Tennessee cost him the game. But in that contest, Aguilar threw for 371 and 4 touchdowns. He tied Peyton's school record for passing yards against the Dogs. Another first down on the ground. Straight ahead run again. Star Thomas making headway right up the gut.
Boy, I'm just watching the secondary for Illinois. They are playing so deep. And that's why Tennessee's just handing the ball off. They're getting 5 guys in the box. And now you see Illinois changing the picture, showing pressure there, rolling down into one high. If they keep it on, this might be an opportunity for Tennessee to go play action.
Aaron Henry, the defensive coordinator for Illinois, told us yesterday that they think that Tennessee is predictable, especially when they go tempo based on tight end alignment, and that they're going to take some chances and try to bring pressure in those situations. Big hit from the safety spot by Mac Resetich.
You're seeing Joey Halsley, the Tennessee offensive coordinator, test that, Tom. You had tight end Ethan Davis in the slot. You bring him across as kind of your lead blocker on that play. We've seen him insert the tight end in between guard and tackle, in between center and guard. We've seen him on split zone as well, trying to cut off that backside. So using their tight ends. And Joey Halsley told us he wants to live in 12 most of the game today. 1 back, 2 tight ends in a lot of different ways.
And they can do that with Kitzelman back. Ethan Davis caught fire tight end towards the tail end of the season with Kitzelman out. Aguilar going deep over the middle, caught for a first down, and taken down at the 20 is Mike Matthews. That's a pickup of 16 for Tennessee.
This is something that Tennessee hasn't had a ton of in their offense until Joey Aguilar got here. A full field progression. He started all the way out wide to the right and came back all the way to the left. A great job of working through 3 or 4 reads to get to that backside.
Low-scoring first half between Tennessee and Illinois. And a huge hit in the backfield by James Kreutz. Second of the Kreutz brothers to make a play tonight. This will be the 10th play of the drive for Tennessee.
Nice push from Pat Farrell there, too. Big defensive tackle. He's lined up down inside, attempting to reach block. He got all the way outside of those shoulder pads and helmet and able to get that backside cut off there. Nice job.
Tennessee has been run heavy on this drive. On the ground, 8 out of 9 plays. Aguilar over the middle. Here's Staley. Staley, one of 3 SEC freshmen of the year in school history, joining Jamal Lewis and Peyton Manning with that honor. And this brings up 3rd and 11 for Tennessee. What do you like?
Well, remember, no Chris Brazzell, one of the best receivers in the entire country, not out there for Tennessee, opting out of this bowl game. So the go-to guy has been Braylon Staley. He's going to be in the slot at the top of your screen. They're now in a stack formation with Rodarius Jackson, the true freshman. I think the ball is going in that direction.
Aguilar scanning the field. On the run, incomplete, right through the hands of Staley. A near pick for Illinois, which had 4 takeaways in the regular season finale and 9 inches of snow against Northwestern.
Well, it's the pressure in the face of Aguilar, because he should have thrown that football right away to Braylon Staley. They had a little man-rub combination, but the pressure at his feet here, you see he has to move on because he feels that, ends up escaping, and could have been a big pickup on that 3rd down.
Max Gilbert on for a 39-yard field goal. He's only missed once inside 40 this season. Wind is indoor. And a chip shot hung up, but went wide. And a missed field goal for Gilbert, and that brings an end to that drive. The wind is whipping at the top of this stadium, not so much at the top of the goalpost, and this one was off from the jump. Gilbert short and right, and an empty possession for Tennessee. line for Iowa in the early 90s when was a coach there. Hayden Fry, Kirk Ferentz, and then the acting defensive coordinator, William Inge, for Tennessee, was there at the same time. In fact, they were locker mates. They're right next to each other every day. 1st and 10. Batted and nearly picked by Tennessee. Idris Farouk.
Boy, Farouk read that the entire way. This is an RPO, so it's a called run pass. Altmaier's going to read the backside. Farouk looks like he's coming, then he holds up. Gets his eyes on Altmaier, and those are so tough to catch. I mean, you're like 8 yards away from the quarterback. That ball's coming fast. You're not expecting it.
Straight ahead. And Illinois going back to Lawfrey. It took a while to finally bring him down, and they got him over the line, and Utley will be flagged for an additional 15 yards after a 6-yard pickup. And the freshman from down the road at Ensworth High School here in Nashville costs Tennessee another 15.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 17. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And Utley making a mistake that you maybe would expect from a true freshman, getting an opportunity.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know if that. No, that's not a mistake. But that's a.
How's he supposed to know he's out of bounds?
He didn't even really throw him that hard. I'm going to take that back. That is. I don't agree with that call, but another one of the true freshmen. I think I've said probably 3 or 4 different true freshman names tonight for Tennessee. You remember they were without their leading tackler, Arian Carter, their best corner in Colton Hood, and their best pass rusher in Joshua Joseph. So a lot of opportunity for young players out there. This defense is playing pretty well so far.
Under 3 minutes to go before halftime. Lawfrey again, and he takes it just shy of midfield. Lawfrey from a small high school, Gibson City, Illinois. Enrollment his senior year for the entire school was 282. He had a huge game against Northwestern last season, 172 yards and 3 touchdowns in a game at Wrigley. And then really paid it off in the Citrus Bowl against South Carolina. 2nd down 3 in a big shift pre-snap. Luke Altmaier swings it to the outside. And a first down catch by Colin Dixon.
Boy, Altmaier is so good in these RPOs. Another called run. Just a lot of cushion on the left side, so he took the free grass.
You didn't do the same thing at Broadway last night. I'm very proud of you. 7-7 as we hit the 2-minute timeout at the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl. Hi, Matt. Thank you. Jordan, Kewan Lacey, how big a key is that?
Huge. Had just 31 yards in that first matchup against Georgia. They weren't able to run the football in the 4th quarter at all, which led to that Georgia 17-point 4th quarter comeback. So I think he might be the most important player in that game. He's banged up, so if he can stay healthy and they can get him going, it's going to be a heck of a matchup tomorrow. I guess 2 days from now.
Sure. I have no idea what day it is.
Yeah, I definitely don't.
Monday Night Football came on last night. I was very confused.
Yeah.
Well, Illinois is plus about 4 minutes in time of possession. They've done a fantastic job shortening this game. And now they go right back to the ground game. And Lawfrey, and he took a massive knock after a gain of 8.
Well, it's exactly the game plan you want against Tennessee, right? You want to milk the clock when you're on offense, and you want to force them into long drives when they're on offense. So they've really taken away the explosives from this Tennessee offense, and they've held on to the football. Obviously, you got to capitalize. Twice now they've turned the football over on downs in Tennessee territory. So this drive here at the end of half, will be very important.
Illini have all 3 timeouts remaining as we approach 1:20 to play in the first half. Lawfrey bottled up in the backfield and thrown down for a loss of 1. Jeremiah Thielander, junior middle linebacker, making his 13th start of the season tonight.
Oh, I love watching Thielander play, man. He has zero regard for his body. He just throws himself. What you got, Cole?
I'm with you. I love watching Thielander play. It's like a WWE wrestler out there.
There's William Inge, acting defensive coordinator for Tennessee. It's on Kalen DeBoer's staff for a number of years. Floated to the outside, complete for a first down. And Bowick out of bounds to stop the clock. 46 seconds left.
And that's that spot where Colton Hood would be, right? The potential 1st or 2nd round draft pick out of this game. William Wright, the Nashville product, filling in, but Wright is giving a lot of cushion to the field. He's off about 8 to 10 yards, and that's the 2nd time now on this drive that Luke Altmyer has just turned and thrown it to the field and taken advantage of all that space.
They got Beatty in the backfield right now. 2-back set with Lawfrey. Beatty vacates, pump to him. And they go back to him after the defense fell off, and his stiff arm takes him out of bounds. Altmyer may have had a shot deep. There's a flag on the far side. Right about where Beatty was going out of bounds. Looks like we could have a face
Personal
mask.
foul, grabbing the face mask. Defense number 0. The penalty is half the distance to the goal line and an automatic first down.
Second penalty on William Wright as you see him get part of Beatty's face mask there. Good veteran decision by Luke Altmyer. They tried to hit a wheel route down the field. Andre Turrentine was actually kind of baiting him to throw that football. Could have made a play on it. Instead, Altmyer checked it down. That's what you want to do. 2-minute situations. You want to be smart with the football, especially when you're in field goal range. Don't take any chances that you don't need.
Lawfrey, the lone back. Altmyer play action again. Fires in zone. Incomplete. A lot of coverage in the back end there. Trying to fit it into Hudson Clement. We talked to Barry Lunny, the offensive coordinator for Illinois, about Altmyer's propensity to turn the ball over, try to force the ball into tight windows. And he said, I think this is a quarterback that has ultimate confidence in his arm and his receivers, of just a couple of guys that he really leans on. There's Lunny, was on Bielema's staff at Arkansas before joining him in Champaign. .35 seconds remaining in the half. Pressure coming up the middle. Altmyer lobs it into the end zone. Beatty has it knocked away. Fantastic coverage for Tennessee and Jalen McMurray. And McMurray's letting Beatty know about it.
Boy, it's the right place to go with the ball. The one-on-one matchup with Beatty. The problem is that ball just hung too much. Beatty wins off the line of scrimmage right away on Jalen McMurray. So if Altmyer throws that with less air and gets the ball there quicker, Beatty's going to have a chance. Instead, it hangs too much. McMurray gets back in phase and in good position. A big 3rd down here.
11th play of the drive. Altmyer's perfect on 3rd down so far tonight. Illini take a timeout with the play clock winding down. 30 seconds remaining in the half. Illinois looking for its first lead of the game. Music City Bowl is part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Cole Kublik, our fantastic crew here in Nashville, including spotter Chris Capo and statistician to the Stars Greg Campbell. 30 seconds left in the first half. And Illinois looking at a 3rd down. Luke Altmyer is 13 of 19 tonight for a $133 and 1 touchdown. Illinois has converted 3 of 5 3rd downs.
Tennessee brought pressure on 2nd down. I don't think they will here, but keep an eye on Luke Altmyer's legs. And Tennessee is showing pressure.
Reserve tight end Davin Stoffel in his slot on the right side. He's been in the last few plays of this drive.
I think Tennessee's going to drop out of this one.
Play clock getting late. They do. Pressure from the edge. Altmyer fires in zone. It is batted away off the back of the Tennessee defender Ty Redmond. He was all over Justin Bowen.
I love the call by Inge, the interim defensive coordinator. You show all-out cover zero pressure. You only end up bringing 5. You drop out of it, but you force Altmyer's urgency to ramp up. He's falling away throwing that football, thinking he didn't have time when he probably had a half a second longer than he thought.
30-yard attempt for David Alano, sitting on 17 of 20 on the season. Alano drills it. Illinois in front for the first time tonight. A 12-play, 67-yard for Brett Bielema's team. 10-7 Illini. Seconds of the first half here in Nashville. With Illinois out in front after a 12-play, 67-yard drive. This is a Tennessee offense, one of the most prolific in the country, and they have been stuck in ice tonight. Only 123 yards. Illinois is +7 time of possession. Alano, the junior out of Naperville North, has it on a tee. Knuckleball sails across the inline. Fewest first half points this season for Tennessee, tied with the Alabama game. Tonight's Game Track is brought to you by Coca-Cola.
Yeah, the perfect game plan from this Illinois defense. Force Tennessee to drive the football the length of the field. Don't allow explosive plays. Tennessee doesn't have a play longer than 18 yards tonight. And you see there, 1 3 and out, 2 long drives that only resulted in 1 touchdown. Great game plan so far from Aaron Henry.
Aguilar has 9 completions of 50 yards or more this season, and that one's incomplete as he tried to throw it on the run to Braylon Staley. Staley looking frustrated.
Yeah, and part of that frustration from this offense too is not having your #1 wide receiver, Chris Brazel. That changes things around. Mike Matthews is playing on the right side. He's usually on the left side. You got a couple true freshmen in and out of the lineup on the outside as well.
Aguilar is only 6 of 9 in this first half. Volunteers 0-2 this season when trailing at the half. They lost to Oklahoma and Alabama. Josh Heupel's team will have to reverse a trend. For Illinois, 8-0 when leading at the half this season. And the Illini, with a late field goal to close the first half, take a 10-7 lead into the locker room as Illinois looks for back-to-back wins against an SEC opponent in the postseason after knocking off South Carolina in the bowl game last year. That was an emotional game for Brett Bielema. A lot of drama in that one, going head-to-head with Shane Beamer. And Bielema, an emotional coach, but he's got his team in a winning position right now, talking with the officials as he walks off the field back towards the Illinois locker room, and he'll hit that locker room with a 3-point lead at the break. Let's get you to Brett Bielema standing by with Cole Kublik.
You wanted to make sure the explosive plays from Tennessee didn't take place. You want to control the clock offensively. You've been able to do just about everything you laid out for us. How do you continue that in the second half?
Well, we want to make sure we get points down here, right? Obviously, it was right on the fringe of they missed a field goal right where we made a decision to go for it. We got stopped on 2 4th downs. Been a big part of the score, but like where we're at, we had a 3rd and 10. They had a wrong pass rush, gave them a first down here, but they missed a field goal. But we got played at 0-0 at half. Take advantage of the opportunities we get.
What was the conversation with the officials coming up?
Oh, just a fade over there. Like, we can't catch the ball if they're allowed to defend like that. The defender's got to turn around, get his head back. Didn't happen. Everybody makes mistakes. We got to move forward.
Did you have to make an adjustment with the cadence earlier?
Yeah, there was one where they moved towards the line of scrimmage, made our guy jump, got everybody a little bit antsy, but we got to set our feet and get in line.
Thanks, Coach.
Illinois hit a good non-conference run. They've won 8 straight against non-conference opponents going back 2 seasons to Kansas. Get you to the studio with E.J. Manuel. Here's Matt Berry. Half. In the first half, I should say, with losses to Bama, OU, and then last time out against Vanderbilt. Deep kick and no return. Time to take a look at who's bringing the heat, brought to you by Sonic.
This is the pressure we were talking about, the lack of protection. They've tried to dial up plays downfield. As you see right here, just no time for Joey Aguilar. Doesn't even have time to step up in the pocket there, find an open receiver. They forced him to scramble outside the pocket as well. Another missed opportunity there to Mike Matthews. And again, pressure in and around Aguilar has been the story and the reason those chunk plays aren't there. They've been forced to have methodical drives, and that's not something that Tennessee loves doing. They like hitting 4 or 5 play drives with big hitters downfield. But again, I expect they start with the run into Deshaun Bishop to soften up this zone coverage from Illinois.
And that run is a huge help on first down as Bishop rips off a first down gallop of 17 yards. Cole, you talked with Josh Heupel at the half. What do you have to say?
He almost mirrored what Jordan Rodgers said a few moments ago. Said, we knew they were going to play us deep, give us underneath. We have to take advantage of that. Said middle of the field, a place that they feel like they can attack here in the second half.
A near pick by Illinois on the first down play. It falls incomplete. Aguilar's string of consecutive 200-yard passing games is in peril here to start the second half, and this one almost ended up in Illinois' hands.
Yeah, just a little miscommunication. He's expecting Ethan Davis to sit up a little sooner.
Go back to the ground game and 5 yards for Deshaun Bishop.
And I would just lean on that. Illinois is going to sit back in deep cover 2. If you look at how deep these safeties are, they are completely content forcing Tennessee to drive the length of the field and run the football to take away those shot plays. Oh, as they hear it, roll down to single high for the first time in a while.
Aaron Henry is the defensive coordinator for Illinois. Defensive back for Brett Bielema's Rose Bowl team, one of them. Pressured, Aguilar can't get loose. Third sack of the night for Illinois. Malachi Hood, the junior out of Joliet Catholic, comes up with a stop for the Fighting Illini.
Boy, this is not as much protection because there is a pocket here initially. As you're going to see the rush from Malachi Hood coming from the left side. He's got Radarius Jackson wide to the left in one-on-one coverage. That's a true freshman who coming into the game only has 7 receptions. If that was Chris Brazzell, that ball is out in a heartbeat. I think Aguilar right now a little apprehensive to take those one-on-one opportunities to a true freshman that he hasn't had a ton of reps with until this point.
At some point, you just got to rip it,
You got to, right? One-on-one, you got your big 6'2" receiver out there. I don't care if he's a true freshman or not. Take the shot downfield. But you can tell that pressure and not having Chris Brazzell is really affecting this Tennessee offense and Joey Aguilar.
So here's Luke Altmaier. He's up to 29-44 passing yards this season with 133 tonight. He's 56 yards shy of the 9th 3,000-yard passing season in Illinois history. It'd be the first since Nathan Schillhouse in 2013. Schillhouse now the passing game coordinator for the Rams. Altmaier on the run. He's one of the best in the country in accuracy when he moves. And that one ruled incomplete to Hudson Clement.
Well, that's what they call the announcer's jinx, Tom.
Nailed it.
You had to say it as he was rolling out, but you see right there, 99.4 rating on the run.
What makes him so good at it? Second best among FBS quarterbacks.
Well, he's got such a fluid throwing motion that it doesn't need to be over the top. It can be sidearm. It comes out really natural on the move because he's an athlete with extremely limber arms and a talented arm that can make any throw.
That was a massive gap and a beautiful spin move for Valentine. That's a 15-yard run on first down.
Tennessee that time brought the blitz, and anytime you bring the blitz, you're going to have a chance to jump out of a gap, and you see the B gap backside gets completely opened up because the blitz is front side, and a nice hole for Valentine.
And Illinois comfortable leaning on it. Khalil Valentine, the native of Hayward, California, back at it. High school teammate of Dylan Raiola at Chandler High School in Arizona. On 2nd and 5, fake the handoff, going down the sideline and incomplete to Clement. William Wright had the coverage.
It's a really good ball, a really good effort there from Clement. An even better play on the outside by William Wright. William Wright has had the ball come in his direction a lot. Watch his left hand here late. Clement was actually bringing that in. I mean, he snagged that with one hand, was bringing it into his chest, and Wright was able to break that up.
Illini 3 of 6 on 3rd down tonight. Caden Fagan joins Altmaier in the backfield. Altmaier looking over the middle. Lets it go out and incomplete. It was Colin Dixon, the intended receiver. And the Illini forced to punt it away. Both teams with 4-play drives in the second half. Pardon me, it was a 5-play drive for Illinois.
Boy,
and the first Illinois punt.
Yeah, there was a big missed hold on that play. I think it was Bryson Eason getting double teamed and held. It allowed Altmaier to get that one off. Obviously didn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but
Keelan Crimmins skies this punt. And a fair catch taken at the 20-yard line after a 40-yard punt. Tennessee back on offense. That was quick. Down 3.
Insane in that Ohio State offense. That'll be a fun one to watch. Remember, Miami, no one even thought they should be there. They got a chance to prove that everybody else was way wrong.
Aguilar going to get hit from the backside, and the ball came loose. Scooped up by Illinois at the goal line and in the end zone. Touchdown, Illini. A strip sack for Illinois presents a defensive touchdown. Joe Barta knocked it out. Leon Lowry Jr. recovered the loose ball in the end zone.
For Tennessee.
Injury to a defenseless player.
Lance Hurd gives up
James Thompson Jr. still on the ground in the end zone for Illinois.
Yeah. Watch Lance Hurd, the left tackle here. He's on the right side of your screen. He's actually going to step on the foot of his left guard. The guy next to him causes him to slip, which allows Barna to get the sack. See that? Completely lost his footing because his right foot steps on his teammate. And it's just all liberty-bibberty after that. The protection issues continue for Tennessee. A frustrating night for this offense, and that is exactly what you couldn't have happen.
Hurd has started every game this season. Steps on Umarov's foot.
The odd part is you're sliding that protection to the right, but the defender is on your outside shoulder. There's no need to go ahead and take it that far down inside.
Yeah, that step got way too big, right? He's not working to anybody. Like, he needs to initially take a small step in that direction, Cole, but then work back to the left to that defensive end, right?
Tell us about the technique of the O-line, Jordan.
Well, let me tell you. All I want is for my left tackle not to give me a lookout block. You know?
Thompson helped to his feet. He'll be playing in the East-West Shrine Bowl, the Wisconsin transfer. Graduated from Wisconsin December 24. He's all smiles. And why not? Illinois' defense had 4 takeaways in the snow against Northwestern in the regular season finale. And that helped him to the win. And what Brett Bielema said is the coldest game he's ever coached or played in. Guy played in the Big Ten and grew up on a hog farm up in Prophetstown, Illinois.
It looked like it on the tape. I mean, don't tell Tom Fornelli that, but.
Well, it was the most snow on a game day in the history of Memorial Stadium, which goes back about 100 years. Extra point is good. Illinois has got a 10-point advantage. We'll be back in 10 seconds after a message from Ally.
Spend more time cheering and less time stressing when you bank with Ally, the bank that's your ally. Back to you.
Well, one of the discussions we had with defensive coordinator Aaron Henry yesterday focused on getting after the quarterback, and he said at the end of the day, it's how do you affect the quarterback? And they certainly able to affect Joey Aguilar tonight.
Well, and they're doing it without really having to dial up pressure, because they're staying in that 2 safety shell. They're staying in a deep zone. They're just able to win with 4. Occasionally they're bringing some pressure to mix things up, but
where can Aguilar attack that zone if he has time?
well, you got to attack the middle of the field, but the problem is you got to have time to attack the middle of the field, because that takes a little bit of time to develop. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. You got to run the football first. At some point you have to force Illinois out of the 2 shell, force them to roll a safety down. Again, that's frustrating for Joey Halzle in this Tennessee offense, because they like taking shots, they like being aggressive, but right now Illinois is dictating the pace of this game, and Tennessee's got to focus on putting together another long drive to get some points back on the board.
Illinois tied with USC to lead the Big Ten with 11 forced fumbles and led the conference in fumble recoveries, and won tonight. Helps Illinois to its largest advantage of the game. 17 unanswered.
And maybe the oddest part about Tennessee not finding more is this was a big portion of the offseason study for them. Compressed formations, finding ways to create explosives against 2 and 3 deep safeties. Haven't been able to get it done tonight.
And so here's the run game for Tennessee, and 5 yards on first down for Star Thomas. Volunteers going no huddle, trying to pick up the tempo here. They've run it more than twice as often as they've thrown it tonight. Out of the backfield, room to rumble for Thomas, and he's got a first down on the catch and run brought down by Miles Scott.
Yeah, this is where that tempo starts to pay dividends. Couple positive gains, then you start to increase the tempo. Illinois getting lined up in time. Another run right down the middle.
Huge gap. Star Thomas rumbles to the 30. That's a 21-yard gain. And an injured Illinois player.
Injury timeout to a player on the defense.
Looks like Tanner Heckel, the cornerback for Illinois. Number 16 in blue is the one that got injured at the end of the play.
And what you notice here, no linebackers on the second level in the box at all, because they're in that 2 safety shell. They have 2 safeties deep, and another guy is that middle deep defender. Really 3 guys playing probably 15 yards downfield, no second level defenders, and that's what Tennessee's got to do, just hand the football off.
It was back-to-back plays. Ethan Davis 10, 15 yards downfield, getting an extra block as well. Tight end for Tennessee.
Well, this is too bad for Tanner Heckel, the sophomore from Linden, Kansas, out of Linden High School, where he was a 1-year superstar, helped him to the Kansas 8-man state championship. His mom, high school girls basketball coach. They went 13-0 and won the state title in a driving snowstorm. And he is holding that left arm gingerly as he walks off the field. Linden, Kansas has a population of 1,000. They play 8-man football, and they've got 3 players playing Power 4 football, including 2 in the game tonight. Heckel and Kitzelman, the tight end for Tennessee. Aguilar hands it off. The Tennessee run game in this drive belongs to Star Thomas. He has every yard on this drive so far for Tennessee. 52 yards over 4 plays. Aguilar has to scramble, and he takes it straight up the middle. Inside the 10 for another Tennessee first down before Miles Scott brought him down, and Tennessee keeps the tempo rolling.
Yeah, broken play here. They're trying to just throw a little slip screen or a now screen to the wide receiver wide right. Corner on that side. Torrey Cox blew it up, so Aguilar did a great job of just getting vertical. And again, running the football downhill has been effective this entire drive. Don't get away from it now.
Out of the pistol with Thomas behind him. Kitselman, the lead blocker. And they go to Kitselman on the fake, and a hurdle ends up dumping him at the 5. Torrey Cox Jr., submarine, the big Miles Kitselman at 6'5", 255. This game has been shortened for Josh Heupel. Paramount to find the end zone here, looking at a 2nd and goal. Down 2 scores.
This is where tight end Ethan Davis is a mismatch. He's at the top of your screen, attached to the line of scrimmage.
Aguilar crawls down to the 2. They'll spot him at the 3, and that'll leave 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line. Thomas exit. Deshaun Bishop returns to the backfield for Tennessee. Last possession for Tennessee ended up in a strip sack score for Illinois. Bishop working towards the goal line. He is stopped. Picked up a yard. Kurt Neal, big number 99, the first man there, and shoved everybody back.
Tennessee's going to go for this one.
The Illinois fans in front of us haven't sat down this entire game. Volunteers 11 for 15 on 4th down this year.
And Tennessee gets bigger, bringing in a tight end and a defensive lineman. Illinois going to do the same thing, bring a couple big bodies, take off a couple corners.
Illinois also likes to affect the tempo by going with defensive lineman substitutions when the offense subs. Full house backfield. Aguilar under center. Handoff left side, and he reached for the goal line. He's in. Touchdown, Tennessee. Fitting that Santa would be in orange tonight for either side. A touchdown plunge for Deshaun Bishop.
They bring in 94 right there on the end of the line of scrimmage. Carter Hewitt, the defensive lineman. That's a great block from a defensive guy, and a really good job by Deshaun Bishop of reaching that ball out because he was stopped short. Good physical tackle. No body part on the ground. That left hand can be on the ground as he reaches that out. What an effort.
And he was assisted by the fact that at least initially he was on top of an Illinois defender.
Yeah.
Gilbert for the point after. Well, Tennessee able to answer after the disaster in the strip sack possession before. Star Thomas carried most of the load. Deshaun Bishop with the extra stretch to put it across the goal line.
The Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation. Visit MusicCity.com.
We've seen some thrillers here at the Music City Bowl, including 21. Purdue outlasted Tennessee in overtime, 48-45. Aiden O'Connell threw for 534 and 5 touchdowns. Beat your buddy Mike Glennon's old Music City passing bowl record. Josh Dobbs ran for 3 and 118 yards. Tennessee beat Nebraska. Before that, Lamar went for 276 on the ground against Texas A&M. I remember that because we got stuck in the elevator with the A&M marching band.
Did you have earplugs?
It made for a long ride down.
Yeah, that Aiden O'Connell game ended a little controversy at the end of that one. We did that game.
Sure did.
Tennessee fans remember that well.
Learned that night that the whistle doesn't necessarily stop the play. High kick into the wind, taken on the run at the 11-yard line, and a full head of steam all the way out past the 30 for Khalil Valentine. It's a game plan for Illinois this drive.
Well, I think it's you get back to what's been working for you, which is some play action shot plays. They've actually been pretty successful at protecting Luke Altmyer and allowing him to attack the intermediate aspect of the field, try to take some shots downfield. He's also been really good in the RPO game, so called runs and just taking the free access, the free grass that Tennessee's allowing on the outside. This is a big drive for this Tennessee defense to get a stop, get some momentum back in this game after your offense got points on the board and kind of shook off some rust of that first half for them.
Beatty motioned out of the backfield, straight ahead. Lawfrey, and he's past the 45 and a first down run for Aiden Lawfrey. His defensive coordinator, William Inge. They just hired Jim Knowles. 18 years as a defensive coordinator, including the last 4 in the Big Ten. His years at Penn State, prior 3 at Ohio State, won a national title. Lawfrey's got nowhere to go. Tennessee stops him. It's a loss of 1.
Inge's focus was really to simplify some things, so guys are thinking less and playing faster. A lot of new faces, a lot of true freshmen out there. A few of their main guys not in the lineup, so important drive for them to get pressure on Altmyer, try to find a way, whether it's through blitz or just winning one-on-ones on the outside. Remember, left tackle J.C. Davis is not playing. Nathan Kanapik has been great on the left side, but got to find a way to get there.
They come free on Altmyer by design to the screen out to Beatty, and he picks up 10, just short of the first down. They leave 3rd and 1.
Well, and a great call when you know that Tennessee's going to be pinning their ears back on 2nd and long. A little tunnel screen to Beatty.
Third and short. It's Lawfrey in the backfield. Altmyer under center. Lawfrey manages to pick up the first down. By the way, we're looking for a short yardage situation for Illinois. They're going to break out a never-before-seen alignment called hermanos. Have 3 sets of brothers on the field at the same time. That's a goal for Brett Bielema and his offensive coordinator, Barry Lunny. See if they get it in.
5 sets of brothers on this team total, by the way.
Probably weren't going to break it out in a 3-point game in Tennessee's territory in the middle of 3rd quarter.
I don't know. Brett seemed pretty confident about it. Jumped up on the grease board last night to draw it up for us. Altmyer fakes right, looking back left. Now he scrambles. And Luke Altmyer runs into the official and picks up the first down. He will let nothing stand in his way of a win here tonight in Nashville. Sean Garrity, the umpire, failed to make the tackle.
Yeah, they're trying to go a double move to the field. Great coverage by Tennessee, and then just get out of the way.
Ludacris said it best.
Move.
Oh, poor Sean didn't know it hit him. No worse for the wear. Maybe.
Knock the wind out a little bit. Maybe it's cold, man.
It is cold.
He doesn't have pads on.
Altmyer, I don't think got the play.
Illinois.
With the play clock.
First of the half.
Illinois will take a timeout. Give everybody a chance to catch their breath. 3-point Illinois lead. the gridiron tonight. And after a very sluggish first half, Tennessee's offense coming together on that last drive. Luke Altmyer with a touchdown strike. This was how things started. And then strip sack covered up in the end zone for Illinois. And it was 17 unanswered at that point. Tennessee able to cap off a 9-play, 75-yard drive with a Dashawn Bishop touchdown plunge. And here we are with Illinois trying to answer. He joined us late. Luke Altmyer, tremendous story for Illinois. Started his college career playing for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. Lost the starting job year 2 to Jackson Dart. Entered the portal. Told us he had some imposter syndrome. Felt lost in the football field, lost in life. Turned to his pastor and therapist. Built his confidence back up even after a rocky first season in Champaign-Urbana. And he will leave Illinois, one of the most prolific passers in school history. And how about this with the legs? Altmyer dances his way for an Illinois first down.
I love the whole sequence there. Luke Altmyer, as he gets up, a little banged up there, but he pointed out the safety blitz from Jump Street, tries to throw quick to the left. It's covered, so again, he takes off using his athleticism. But it is a cold night, and sometimes that turf hurts worse than any linebacker can hit you.
Artificial surface here at Nissan Stadium. Altmyer fakes right, goes right back there. It's inside the 5 to Tanner Arkin.
Oh, such a good throw. Normally this ball would be up and over the top, but Tennessee safety Caleb Beasley was redirecting deep over the top. So he puts this ball on the back shoulder there. Great little adjustment on the fly to Tanner Arkin.
Arkin, the workhorse, has the second most starts at tight end in program history behind only Matt Cushing, and one spot ahead of Illinois' athletic director Josh Whitman. Played for Lou Tepper and then went on to the NFL, Whitman did. First and goal for Illinois. Altmyer takes it himself. He's in! Touchdown, Illinois! Luke Altmyer all over the Illinois record books from a passing standpoint. But tonight, Altmyer has been able to get it done on the ground with that touchdown run.
Well, watch the tight ends on the right side of your screen, Tanner Arkin and Christian Abney. Watch them just push these defenders all the way down. They may take them past the center to open up that hole for Luke Altmyer. Physicality up front has been won by Illinois all night so far.
You see him rocking the baby?
I did see that.
That's pretty good.
You think he's shouting out Jordan like Michael Jordan, or?
I think here's who he's shouting out, because he watches SEC Network every Saturday night. He's shouting out our guy Jordan Rodgers and his beautiful bride JoJo, Romy Blair, born 2 days before Christmas.
Yeah, a little early, 3 weeks early, you could tell. I mean, I've been working hard, right? I did all the work. Yeah. My poor wife, she goes, well, I just had to get this baby out of me, and my husband's just sleeping.
Congratulations to both. You like the technique?
You know, you want to interlock the arms a little bit more, especially with a tiny 6-pound, 10-ounce newborn, but he'll get there. You know, we're all not experts. I'm 7 days in, and I still don't know what I'm doing.
Hey, caveman did it. You'll be fine. 10-point Illinois lead. What a run for Altmyer. Illinois almost plus 100 in total yards tonight over this prolific Tennessee offense, which has been held in check. And on the return through traffic past the 20 to the 21. NFL Week 18 regular season finale has a Saturday doubleheader on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Deportes, loaded with playoff implications. The Buck hosts the Panthers, who have a chance to win the division at 4:30 Eastern. and the Seahawks square off against the 49ers for the #1 seed in the NFC. How about the Brock Purdy show?
Man, the job he has done with not much help around him. That offense outside Christian McCaffrey has been so banged up all year, and Brock Purdy has carried them. Juwan Jennings making plays, the former Tennessee wide receiver. Had a touchdown last game.
Quick hitter to the outside. Pickup of 10 on first down. So Mike Matthews. I thought we might see a little bit more of Matthews tonight if the offense had been humming. On the ground, chain gang is late to move. And be a gain of a couple.
And they're a little frozen down there too.
Hold up, fellas. Let's get them set. Head linesman to get everybody moving. The play before was indeed a first down. And they had yet to move the sticks, so Josh Heupel don't want to get tripped up by the chain. Second and 6 for Aguilar in Tennessee. Deshaun Bishop, redshirt sophomore to Carnes High School in Knoxville, Tennessee. He was slated to go to Coastal Carolina to play for Jamie Chadwell. Chadwell left for Liberty. Bishop looked for a new opportunity, so he walked on to Tennessee. Now Volunteers looking at a 3rd and 4.
Illinois is showing blitz. They got to give Joey Aguilar time to throw this ball.
They bring 4 and still nearly got to him. A perimeter shot to Staley. Out of bounds, I say he's inbounds, but a first down regardless as we approach under a minute to play in the 3rd quarter. Off the left side is Deshaun Bishop to the logo and nearly to midfield.
I'm excited for that Texas Tech Oregon game as well. You see some of the playoff games flash across the screen there at the top. I think that's the matchup nobody's really talking about that could end up being one of the best.
3-man rush. Aguilar with time working against the zone, complete for another first down.
There we go. Rodarius Jackson, the true freshman, talented true freshman, getting involved there. Said his name a few times tonight.
And that will take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Illinois trying to hold on to a double-digit lead in a battle of 8-4 teams. The Illini leading Tennessee, but the Volunteers driving. 24-14, Illinois. (24-14). Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Cole Kubelik. Illinois' defense has done a masterful job on Joey Aguilar in this Tennessee offense. Tennessee scores 41 points a game on average, held to 14 so far.
Yeah, it's been what I've said many times tonight already. Illinois is content sitting back in a 2 shell, 2 safeties really deep, and a 3rd middle defender about 10 to 12 yards deep as well. But again, Cole mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the focus of this offseason was to attack teams that wanted to play 3 safeties and deep cover 2. And their answer was condensed formations, pull protection, so play action where you're moving offensive linemen. And they haven't really been able to get into that. You see 2 receivers down here at the bottom really wide again. They're still using spacing.
Illinois had that one snuffed out from the jump. It turns into a 2-yard gain for Deshaun Bishop.
This is where it's frustrating, but if you're Joey Halsley, you got to just keep running the football. If you're driving the football, it's a 10-score game. You still got time on the clock. And
Bishop blown up in the backfield. He had nowhere to go. Angelo McCullum all over that play. He was playing varsity football as a freshman at 13 years old, and a Pickerington, Ohio native found Bishop in the backfield.
That is just a great read by McCullum. He sees that the whole way. Eyes up, watching the quarterback, reading the drops of these offensive linemen.
And now 3rd and 15. Three-man rush this time. They bring a fourth. Aguilar over the middle. A little low, but good for the first down on the catch by Mike Matthews. The times Illinois has only brought 3. Aguilar has had a ton of time.
That's a great catch there by Mike Matthews.
Here's Bishop. Gonna lean it back inside. Picked up 4. Dylan Rosiak with the stop. Negative 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7 coming. Bishop coming off the field.
Illinois is really intentional about double substituting anytime Tennessee does.
Yep.
It's not just they take their time. They sub one and they wait and then sub the next.
Here's Stark Thomas. The attention to detail for Brett Bielema is really next level. And a big part of that was the time that he spent on Bill Belichick's staff. Took Wisconsin to 3 consecutive Rose Bowls. It's going to be the 12th play of the drive now for Tennessee. Third down 6. To the screen, and just short by maybe a yard is Darius Jackson. Remember, Bishop came off the field a moment ago, and now he'll return on this 4th and short.
I like this play call. Aggressive. You do need a touchdown and a field goal, but at this point you need some momentum more than anything. This could be a massive conversion here or a massive mistake for Tennessee.
It would only be a 34-yard field goal from here. Instead, they're trying to extend the possession. Bishop does just that with a Tennessee first down. Maybe if we're inside 4 minutes, you take the field goal instead, or think more about late game situations.
Yeah, with 11 plus minutes left, even if you don't pick it up,
for an injury.
You still probably have at least 2 or 3 possessions, so you have an opportunity to make up for it. But to your point, yeah, if you're only guaranteed 1 more possession, then you have to take the field goal there. A nice aggressive play call from Heupel.
It's James Thompson Jr., the injured Illini. Remember, he was injured making that play in the strip sack in the 3rd quarter. Tennessee threatening 1st and 10 Volunteers at the 12 when we return. The 2020 Gator Bowl is the last time they came from behind by 10 plus in the 4th quarter.
The quarterback of that Indiana team turned out pretty good as well. Michael Penix Jr.
He was injured in the bowl game.
He was hurt that,
but
yeah,
yes,
the bowl game.
Yeah, not bad.
Swing and a miss by me.
He was on the roster. You were right. First and 10 for Tennessee, down 10. Deshaun Bishop, massive hole, and then he bounces to the outside and in. Touchdown Tennessee. Deshaun Bishop from 12 yards out. And the Volunteers have made a game of it here early 4th quarter. Second touchdown of the night for Bishop. 16 on the year for the former walk-on. Boy, they've developed him into an all-conference type performer. Max Gilbert on for the point after. Into the net. 3-point game. Kick get bored taking profit.
Yeah, and just a 6-man box again. So 2 safeties playing kind of a cover 4 shell look down in the red zone. A lot of teams do that, but the numbers tell you need to run the football, and Joey Halzle has been diligent in doing so, and it pays off for Deshaun Bishop once again.
Grandpa played at Tennessee back in the 80s. He has been a breakout star for the Volunteers. It's a Tennessee fan base that a good chunk of them had soured on the season, especially the beatdown that they got at the hands of Vanderbilt at home in the season finale. Remember this time last year, they were playing in the playoffs. But the hardy faithful that are in the building tonight are now excited about an opportunity for more drama, and every time Tennessee comes to this building, they seem to have just that. Can Illinois answer? No return for the Illini. Let's give the Tennessee history of the Music City Bowl going back to 2010 against North Carolina. Tennessee up with 16 seconds in regulation. TJ Yates spiked the ball. They thought time had run out. After review, they gave 1 more second. That would change the rule the next year. And Tennessee matched up with Nebraska. Derek Barnett got his 33rd sack. That's a school record-breaking Reggie White's mark. And this was ruled a stop at the goal line. And Purdue escaped with an overtime victory. Jalen Wright was the one who seemingly got the ball over. The crew did not see it that way. Here's Luke Altmaier in the backfield to Khalil Valentine. He's taken down inbounds, and the clock will run. Gain of 9.
Altmaier again with a ton of time in the pocket. Looking to his left, works through all his progressions, hits the check down to Valentine. Tennessee really feeling the pains of not having Joshua Josephs out there. But they just need to find ways to win. I mean, they got a bunch of good dudes up there. This defensive line is loaded with talent.
Here's a first down run for Valentine, and he rumbles past midfield. 18-yard carry.
That's one thing that impressed me when I flipped on the tape and started watching Khalil Valentine. Former 4-star, just his ability to jump cut, the lateral quickness that he has. That run is supposed to go to the right. It's all clogged up. Little jump cut and acceleration after that. Nice read and a nice gain.
Well, Brett Bielema was born to the power run game, and he's had 7 straight centers drafted. He's been an O-line guru his entire career. Altmaier swings at the Clement on the outside. And with that has come 1,000-yard rushers galore. Now, Valentine, Fagan, and Lafrey have shared the role this year. But look at the history of 1,000-yard rushers under Brett Bielema and the stack that they had at Wisconsin. Hill gave way to Clay, who played with White. Then Monty Ball was setting records, gave way to Alex Collins. He was together with Jonathan Williams and Raleigh Williams at Arkansas.
What did you tell us 1 year they were like 20 yards away from 3,000-yard rushers at Wisconsin?
Jeez.
Yeah, I think that was Clay, White, and there's one other guy from Florida who's on that team. Loss of a yard that time. Lawford. He's got Brett Bielema's got an interesting approach when it comes to recruiting. Doesn't he, Cole, when he meets with a player prospect for the first time?
Well, it's all about relationships with Brett Bielema. He said one of the first things I like to do is ask them about their name, which you would think is kind of obvious, but he wants to know how you got your name, where your name comes from. He said some guys have no idea. It's just the name that my parents came up with. He said, but you can learn a lot about a young man, and you get them talking. Obviously, then you learn about their family, their parents, their grandparents, and just kind of part of how he operates as a head coach.
Altmaier slings it inside. There's a catch by Beatty. By the way, going back to that 3,000-yard rush with Monty Ball in 2010, finished with 996.
Oh.
He's from St. Louis, actually, not Florida.
Couldn't get him 4 more?
Yeah, come on, what are we doing? Got a bunch of NFL guys on that O-line. Third down 5. Huge play for the Tennessee defense.
Remember, this is going into the wind, so probably 2-down territory for Illinois here.
Illinois averaging 8 yards a snap on this drive. Tennessee's got 7 on the line of scrimmage. Altmaier doesn't like it. And he burns a timeout. It's the second timeout taken by Illinois before they got the play calling. We're looking at a 3rd and 5 when we return to Nashville. They're down 5. The 3-point game. Cole, you could use that blanket, I bet. Seems a little chilly down in the field.
It's not toasty.
You did not pack well, did you?
I didn't. No. Just missed the boat. And I knew it was going to be cold.
Well, Cole, in case you were wondering, I got a space heater up here, and I got 3 of those hot hands in each pocket.
I have 17 in all of my pockets.
Yeah, but you don't have the weather app on your phone. They're down 5 for Luke Altmaier in Illinois.
All right, Tennessee showed blitz last time. It's what caused Altmaier to call the timeout. Not bringing it here.
Got a lead blocker, QB run. Altmaier gets hit, but he picks up the first down. Trying to run behind freshman left tackle Nathan Knappich, and Knappich got just enough to free Altmaier.
And it's a great call, because just in case Tennessee came out and had that all-out pressure again, you bring quarterback run because you get an extra blocker. You get your big running back, Caden Fagan, out there as a lead blocker. So whether it was blitz or not, a great play call after the timeout to pick up that first down.
Big for Caden Fagan might be an understatement there.
Oh, yeah, he's a big boy.
Derrick Henry big.
255 for a running back.
Oh, and he's 6'3". Altmaier backpedaling, and he fits it in, layers it to Tanner Arkin for a gain of 8 on first down.
That's a great throw by Altmaier, falling away a little bit, little tight end throwback delay.
You mentioned Altmaier, though, kind of welcoming that pressure a couple of times. I go back to that conversion. One of the things he told us when we met with him, he said, I want to be remembered as somebody who played the game tough.
Well, he's done that. Hand off to Valentine. Well, that offensive line playing tough.
This got me thinking, too, Tom, what you mentioned earlier in the broadcast about him having the opportunity to maybe go to a different school.
Yep.
Where would that have been on the priority list for Ole Miss Luke Altmaier compared to now? Doesn't feel like that would have been very high up the charge, but now something means a lot more to him.
Tennessee, when they were looking for a quarterback, came in Luke Altmaier, and the collective offered Luke a big chunk of money. And he said, old me playing in front of 100,000 in the SEC, and that cash would have been out the door. New me appreciates what I have here at Illinois and want to leave a legacy. Pressured into throwing incomplete. Ben Bolton was the man who brought the pressure on Altmaier. In this day and age of how the transfer portal works, we talked with Josh Heupel and Joey Halsley about it, and they said, let's be clear about it. We didn't talk to Luke Altmaier. No one in the football building did. That's just a layer of bureaucracy of how they do it with the third party doing it. And Altmaier was slow to get up after being dragged down.
Yeah, he's taking a beating tonight. Quarterback runs and a couple big hits outside the pocket.
Play clock getting late. They get the snap off, and they run it straight ahead. This is, of 7 drives that Illinois has put together tonight, 6 of them, Jordan, had lasted at least 8 plays.
Jeez. It is tough to win a football game when the other team is controlling the ball the way that Illinois has. A crucial 3rd down for this Tennessee defense to force a field goal attempt and keep this a 1-score game.
Fagan is the back with Altmaier. 3rd down 9. Fires end zone. Batted away! What a play by Jalen McMillan. McMurray, who was questionable to play in this game. And he comes up with a massive stop for Tennessee, forcing a field goal into the win for Illinois.
Oh, it's a great job by McMurray. It's kind of a glance route, a little bit longer of a slant. He does a great job of undercutting it at the top of the route, getting his hand out in front. The ball is accurate. There was a little contact at the top, but not enough for a flag.
You got to do that just to get to the back bar at Tootsie's. 28-yard attempt for David Olano. And Olano drills it. But Illinois held to a field goal. And the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl coming down to the last 5 minutes. Tennessee will have the ball when we return. Brett Bielema has done a tremendous job bringing belief to Champaign-Urbana and into the football program. That's why it hurt so hard when they fell out of playoff contention. He said the secret to that is I never told my team that we're on the path to the playoff, and we had it right in front of us, despite the great start being a top 10 program 6 weeks into the season. And they lost 3 of their final 6. You understand the loss to Indiana, #1 team in the country, despite it being a blowout, and then to Ohio State. But they went on the road to Washington, turned the ball over, and got outplayed in the rain in Seattle. Kickoff comes down at the 6 and fumbled, regroup, trying to find the edge. And look at this. Javon Dodson's got the sideline, and he may go. Trying not to run out of steam. Dodson takes it to the house. 95-yard kickoff return. And Tennessee is a kick away from the lead. Well, sometimes at this time of year, you've got to lean on guys who haven't been key contributors on game day. And that's exactly what Tennessee has done now with Joakim Dotson getting an opportunity to impact this game. I don't think of all the times we've seen Tennessee this year, we've uttered his name once.
No. And actually, the fumble kind of helped open the hole for Tennessee on that one.
And Tennessee is in front by 1. It's tonight's clutch delivery brought to you by Chipotle.
Boy, so he's going to bobble this ball, and because of that, the Illinois defender on the wide side of that field that should have contained ends up getting his eyes looking at the ball on the ground, gets out of position. It allows Tennessee to take the edge, and a massive play. Guy on the far left side of the screen starts pointing at the ball, gets out of position, then gets blocked. Star Thomas out there blocking. And finally in the Music City Bowl, a wacky play going in the favor of Tennessee.
A 4-star recruit and true freshman from Memphis, Joey Aguilar, says, yes, sir. Special teams getting it done. It's the first kickoff return for a touchdown for the Volunteers. It's Velus Jones against South Alabama in November of 21. And Rocky Top loud and clear in Nashville.
Wow, this game has turned in an instant. It has felt for 3.5 quarters like Illinois has been in complete control. And just like that, they find themselves down.
There's an injured player for Tennessee. We can't quite make out his number just yet. Both teams with a non-offensive touchdown tonight. Illinois with a strip sack in the 3rd quarter of Aguilar that they fell on in the end zone, and then Tennessee with a kickoff return score. And this injury, the only thing dampening the mood here at Nissan Stadium after Tennessee faithful that showed up tonight had a reason to come out of their seats. Looks like Bennett Warren, redshirt freshman offensive lineman. By the way, Joakim Dotson getting the opportunity in the kick return game because Tennessee's got guys who have done that all season who are not playing in this game.
Yeah. And again, in a weird way, bobbling that ball really helped lead to a breakdown in kickoff coverage, a breakdown in gap integrity from that kickoff coverage team. But not to take away from Dotson, that was a heck of an effort individually as well, to have the vision, turn the corner with speed, and take that one to the house.
So many coaches talk about the bowl season as opportunities to springboard into next year. And Dotson, certainly with that touch and the touchdown, will gain great confidence. And Warren being helped off by the athletic training staff at Tennessee.
You think of a guy like Jalen Hyatt a couple of years ago who was playing sparingly, had a bigger game here, a couple big catches in the Music City Bowl, and obviously went on to make waves in his final year at Tennessee. These are great opportunities for young guys and for players that just haven't had the opportunity yet to have a breakout moment or a breakout game and carry that momentum into off-season success and into success the following season as well.
Both of these coaches took time in their bowl prep, about a third of their practices for each side, to use as developmental practices and give the freshmen an opportunity to show what they can do, the 2s versus the 3s. And further down on the depth chart, you cannot knock that smile off of Dotson's face. .458 to play in regulation in Nashville. Tennessee up by 1. No return. Coming up next, bowl season rolls on. Number 16 USC matches up with TCU in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Trojans 2-5 all time in bowls played in the state of Texas. Have lost 4 straight. Last one, the '95 Cotton Bowl against Texas Tech. Cole, the Alamo Dome will be a little toastier than what you're experiencing down on the field here today. Can't even talk. Luke Altmyer is one of the best in the country in game-winning drives. Final minute or overtime. He leads all active quarterbacks with 6 over the last 3 seasons. Altmyer steps away from pressure and gets past the 30 and up to the 32-yard line.
And it's because of veteran decisions like that. Don't force the ball into tight coverage. Don't throw the ball away. Use your athleticism and turn what could have been a 0 or negative play into a gain of 7 yards to start the drive. It's a massive play that often goes under the radar.
Brett Bielema referenced one of those big comebacks in an overtime win on the road against Nebraska, as Altmyer's coming out party as an Illini. Here's Lafferty, and he's into Tennessee territory. The junior from Gibson City, Illinois, showing his track speed. It's a 28-yard pickup.
Now Andre Turrentine, number 2 on the backside, gets his eyes caught in the backfield, over pursues that one, loses contain, and Lafferty takes advantage.
Longest play of the night for Illinois.
Good push by Josh Kreutz and Brendan Henderson, the right guard. Kind of took that double team with a defensive tackle up into the linebacker's lap to make that vision that Jordan was talking about a little bit more difficult.
Mainly upperclassmen on that Illinois offensive line, the exception being left tackle. Altmyer fakes left, comes back screen right. Net is blown up. Trying to get it to Lafferty. And it was Edwin Spillman. .333 to play. Illinois down 1. William Inge was a college teammate of Brett Bielema at Iowa. Their lockers were situated right next to each other.
They said they talked to you maybe years ago.
Inge said it was the coaching staff we played for that got us prepared to be coaches. Inge acting DC tonight for Tennessee. QB draw. Altmaier with the pump fake. Throws a couple. And they'll be set up now for 3rd and 3.5.
Again, kind of this gray area of the field. We've seen a few field goals attempted in this area. The first one for Illinois came up short. Well, didn't come up short, but got knocked down by the wind and ended up going wide right. So you wonder how confident Brett Bielema is in kicking a little bit of a longer field goal going in this direction here on 3rd and short.
Injured Tennessee player gives Illinois an opportunity to talk about it. It's David Hobbs, junior from Concord, North Carolina. He's a 5-star recruit, #1 player in the state. Well, it's never boring when Tennessee comes to the Music City Bowl. There's always some sort of drama, and now after the kickoff return for a score, it's a 1-point Tennessee lead.
Nashville's never boring. You know that from Tootsie's last night.
Oh, thank you. What does Luke Altmaier bring to the table in moments like this?
Decision making, right? At the first play of that drive, instead of forcing a throw, just using his legs. Find ways to get positive plays, not incompletions and not negative plays. That takes a guy that started a ton of football, and he has over his career here at Illinois. So it's the decision making that bodes so well for him late in games, and that's why he's been so good at bringing them back.
We talked to him a couple times this week, including right before the game today when he was out there for warm-ups. You could tell that this game has meaning to him.
No doubt. I mean, not just because it's an SEC opponent, and he was in the SEC, not as a starter at Ole Miss, but as a guy that wanted to play in the SEC, now gets to prove that Illinois is good enough to take down an SEC opponent for the 2nd straight year. He did it last year against South Carolina, but we've talked about the historical context for this Illinois team, doing things or the opportunity to do something that has never been done in winning back-to-back 9+ season games. This is their back-to-back bowl game for the first time ever. And I was a part of a program that got to do things like that, historical things that had never been accomplished. It's special. It means a lot to Luke Altmaier because he loves and has embraced this school and this fan base.
Think about the difference in the program. Tennessee playing in its 57th bowl game. This is only the 22nd for Illinois. Their first came in the Rose in 1947.
Again, potentially 2-down territory here, depending on if they gain a few yards or fail to pick up this 3rd down.
Fagan in the backfield. They're going to throw to Beatty, trying to work the perimeter. And the far side had it as a 1st down. The near side did not. It'll be 4th down, 4th and 1.
Beatty's going to try to reach the ball here towards the end. Goes out of bounds. Man, looked like it was real close.
You got QB sneak here with Altmaier?
I love a good quarterback sneak.
I mean, Brett Bielema told us in moments like this, Luke Altmaier can't have the ball enough.
They're going to use their final timeout, setting up for a 4th and 1 with 2:23 to play.
Timeout. Illinois, 30-second charge timeout. That is their 3rd and final of the half.
Matt Austin is our rules analyst. Matt, another look at Beatty trying to gain enough for the 1st down, which is the 30. How do you see it, Matt?
The forward progress spot is where the ball crosses the sideline as he's striding out of bounds. And really, from the views we have, it's just impossible to tell exactly where it crossed. You almost need a shot directly overhead looking straight down.
We lost that camera due to budget cuts when we paid for Cole's hand warmers.
Oh, darn.
That'll do it.
Didn't hear the announcement from our referee. Here we go.
Okay. The ruling on the field, the runner was short of the line to gain. That play is under further review.
Okay, so to Matt's point, forward progress ends where the ball crosses the sideline. And here's the look we have. It wasn't really extended.
It's all now. It's all.
And so where the body ends up onto the apron, that doesn't matter. It's where the ball was right as it crosses over the sideline.
Yeah, to Matt's point, I think it's just going to be impossible
to
figure out if he's 3 inches further than he should have been, or if it was a correct spot. You just have no idea at this angle when the ball is crossing that out of bounds line.
And remember, he was ruled short on the field. Now, I tell you what they could do, and maybe this makes a difference depending on your play call. It's a yard to gain. It's 4th and 1 right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they could make that 4th and a foot. They could make it 4th in inches, even if they don't give him the first down.
Yeah, you'd have to try to piece together where his right foot was and possibly where the ball could have been, but I still don't think there's any way you could even say, yeah, let's move it forward a foot. You just don't know that moment that the ball crosses that invisible vertical barrier of where the out-of-bounds line is. And again, crucial. Did they give them the timeout back? Or they?
I don't know. They used the timeout with the play clock was at 1 second.
Yes, I don't think they did.
Right.
So crucial that they now only have 1 timeout, because if they don't get this, if they hadn't used that timeout, they'd have 2 and the 2-minute.
They did give it back to them because they have 1 now.
Well, that's right. I mean, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. But even still, it just paints the picture of how crucial this 4th down is, having just that 1 timeout. The clock will stop again at 2 minutes. But if you don't pick this up, that clock starts to go really quickly.
So let me ask you an additional question. This is a bowl game. It's by all means an exhibition game. Obviously, both teams want to win. Everybody's focused on 1 yard. Here's the
call. The ruling on the field is upheld.
Knowing Barry Lunny's creativity, knowing Brett Bielema's creativity, are we sticking with something in the A-gap here, or are we going to take a shot?
I don't know if you take a shot, but is there a gadget-type trick play that you trust Hank Beatty? Depending on where you align him, doesn't look like that's what it's going to be. It's either going to be a sneak or possibly this little belly play to Aiden Laffery.
Yeah, they love to go to the first man in this situation. Fagan is also in the backfield. There it is, and Laffery's got the first down and more. Inside the 20. They change it up, and Jordan Anderson got the carry.
Yeah, the tight end, and a 3-point stance from my vantage point. Thought it was Laffery, but it's that little belly play and paid off for Illinois. A 4th down, do or die. Illinois picks it up. Still 1 point down. We got drama here in the 4th.
All right, Matt, thank you. Fans, you can check out the ESPN app for the Capital One postgame immediately following the game. Illinois has run for 147 yards in the second half. But Tennessee with a long kickoff return for the go-ahead score. Now the Illini trying to answer. Handoff, Laffery. Now Laffery is able to pick up a few. And Tennessee uses a timeout. 1:56 to play.
30-second timeout. Tennessee, first of the half.
Yeah, smart usage there for Josh Heupel, trying to keep as much clock available in case Illinois does score.
Here's a look at the second half scoring summary. It was a strip sack for Illinois, and Illini had a great momentum here in the third quarter. Tennessee was able to answer with a Sean Bishop touchdown. And then Luke Altmaier called his own number. I think a 10-point lead. Bishop again. And Tennessee got all the momentum on this 94-yard kickoff return. Just when you thought the Volunteers were dead in the water.
This is where, if you're Tennessee, you got to know where Hank Beatty is, number 80 for Illinois. They like to move him around, and actually, they're going to take him off the field right now. It's a bold move, Cotton.
Altmaier hands it off. This is Laffery. And another timeout for Tennessee. 1:50 to play.
30-second timeout, second of the half for Tennessee. Game clock operator, let's put 1:51 back up on the game clock. Thank you.
We'll give him another second. And Josh Heupel not happy about something. He's talking to the referee. They broke the huddle with 12. A guy runs off, and you guys didn't throw a flag.
Yeah, he and Willie Martinez were out there right after the play time. I think you're right. That's what they were upset about.
Yeah, Beatty was all the way out wide outside the numbers on the opposite side, then ran all the way back off the sideline.
It was hard to miss. So Illinois with a 3rd and 6. Been a steady wind all night, especially in the upper reaches of the stadium. The ribbons on the top of the goalpost not moving much, but you saw it impact the Tennessee field goal attempt earlier.
Remember, a backup left tackle for Illinois. If there was a time for Caleb Herring, defensive end for Tennessee, to make a play, now would be good.
3rd down 6. First down pretty much seals it. Oh. Well, that'll get them closer. See who it's against. If it's obviously Tennessee, it gives them 3rd and 1.
Offside with contact, number 90. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Dominic Bailey jumped. Tennessee has 1 timeout remaining.
I think everybody jumped on that one.
Now ball security key. Altmaier had a turnover inside the 10 in the regular season finale against Northwestern. Fagan is the running back. Here's Fagan, a battering ram, pushes straight ahead, gets it to the 5. And an Illinois first down.
30-second timeout. Tennessee, 3rd and final timeout of the half.
Well, Tennessee will try to save as much time as possible with 1:46 to play. And Illinois has 4 downs to punch it in or kick the go-ahead field goal. Looking for back-to-back bowl wins for the first time in program history.
This is an interesting scenario for this Tennessee defense because they are out of timeouts with a new set of downs for Illinois.
First down.
They can run the football, which they want to. They can take 3 knees right here and take this clock almost all the way down. So if you're Tennessee, try to let them score here to at least give yourself an opportunity to have the ball with a chance to win with over a minute left. Obviously, it depends on what Illinois is going to do here, but 1:46, no timeouts.
And Olano, the kicker, has missed only one inside 30 yards and hasn't missed an extra point all season. College kickers are what they are, but it's a near certainty that Illinois would take the lead. They gave Tennessee the timeout back because they stopped the clock due to the first down, and that's why it restarted. Altmaier rolls right, takes it to the middle of the field. Now Tennessee can use another timeout, and they will. 1:22.
Tennessee, third and final timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
I see Illinois is going to be content to get the ball in the position that their kicker wants, which by that play right there, the kicker wants this centered up. They are going to try to attempt a game-winning field goal.
I'll just say Hermano for the win.
Load it up, get the brothers in there. Olano's made from 30 and 28 today, and Luke Altmaier leads all college football quarterbacks with 6 game-winning drives in the final minute or overtime over the last 3 seasons. And what a way to cap his run at Illinois. Altmaier keep it here himself?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're not going to try to run a play to allow Tennessee to let them into the end zone. They're going to take a knee right where they want this ball, right down the middle for a chip shot field goal. They're going to do this one more time, take that clock all the way down.
14 years ago, Luke Altmaier was in the stadium watching Mississippi State beat Wake Forest in the Music City Bowl behind the player quarterback Chris Ralph. His dad was the team physician then. He said, I grew up around the program. I grew up around all the great quarterbacks who came through Mississippi State, including, of course, Dak Prescott. Had access to the program each and every day. And now here he is wearing an Illinois uniform, trying to set the Illini up for the win.
They'll take this all the way down. Very well managed from Brett Bielema. They'll call a timeout with a few seconds left, and they will.
Jordan, you mentioned that managed well. I go back to some of the things we learned about this program. Quarterback Wednesdays, where only the quarterbacks are allowed to speak in meetings. Quarterback meetings with no coach involved, where the quarterbacks have to give reports to one another. End of half meetings that they practice. End of game meetings that they practice throughout the course of the week. All of these things that Brett Bielema has gotten going at Illinois with his quarterbacks and his players, and Luke Altmaier said all of those have just infused him with confidence.
I thought the interesting part of that Brett Bielema picked it up from his time in New England. He said, listen, Tom Brady would have quarterback meetings without Josh McDaniels. It was just quarterbacks only in that room, and you learn so much. And now the attention to detail and the clock management. The Illinois coaching staff had a meeting late last night with a 218-play film review that prepared them specifically for game situations tonight. How are we going to handle it in this scenario? What if this scenario occurs? And
coordinators don't know the plays.
That's right. It's all a surprise. Bielema has put the clips together with the film staff, and Barry Lundy said this is just another example of how Brett Bielema has grown as a coach. 29-yard attempt from David Olano, the junior out of Naperville, Illinois, and Naperville North. This for back-to-back bowl wins for the Illini. And Illinois walks off Tennessee. David Olano with the winner. Brett Bielema with back-to-back bowl wins for the first time in Illinois football history. Tonight's Capital One player of the game is Illinois quarterback Luke Altmaier.
And what a job by Altmaier. The late game decision making, the plays he made with his legs, the rushing touchdown, passing touchdown, the veteran quarterback with a historic win for this Illinois program.
Alano with the game winner. Coming up next, the Valero Alamo Bowl, USC versus TCU. Capital One postgame trophy ceremony can be found on the ESPN app. Good night from Nashville.